Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I am a geek, you're watching Kevin the Geek. And today I am going to be reacting to a little bit of Dave Gorman. Now Dave Gorman has been featuring on the channel over the last couple of weeks when I've been reacting to Taskmaster. I've been going through and at the time of me recording this, I've just released today actually the 4th episode of the 3rd series. The 3rd series is the one that features Dave Gorman. Got one more episode left to go, but one of my subscribers, one of my commenters, John Lewis, I believe it's a guy called John Lewis, not the actual shop John Lewis, he has suggested that I watch, well, two things he suggested I take a look at some point featuring Dave Gorman. Firstly, he did a series of 6 episodes, each about 30 minutes long, and it was he says I need to watch the whole show, apparently, for it to all kind of make sense, and that was a show in his earlier years, around about 2000, 2001, 2002, something like that, and that's a show called Are You Dave Gorman? And then he did something a little bit later on in the sort of 2010s called Modern Life is Good-ish, which sounds intriguing. Just from the titles, both of them sounds interesting. But today I'm going to check out the first ever episode. The first ever episode of Are You Dave Gorman? I don't really know anything about it. I like Dave Gorman from what I've seen of him on Taskmaster. I've got to go with my check shirt today because he always seems to be wearing a check shirt in the show. Yeah, I'm kind of embracing a little bit of my Dave Gorman-ness, if that makes any sense. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, turn on notifications, remember to smash that like button, and remember to drop your comments down below, because at the start of every month I do a responding to your comments video. So any comments left on videos released in the last month will be featured in the next episode, and if you give me something I can respond to, I will give you my response to them. But for right now, let's check out the first episode of Are You Dave Gorman? Okay, starting the reaction to Are You Dave Gorman, episode number 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name's Dave Gorman. I've got a very strange story to tell you. It all started...
He's really young here, isn't he?
I went out for a drink with my flatmate Danny. That's him, there. Not sure why I'm showing you that, because that's him there. He's in tonight. Hello, Danny. Hello. Hello. There you go. Myself and Danny were out drinking because it was his birthday. He'd had a lovely video camera as a present, so myself and him and that camera and a few mates went out on the lash. And we were getting really drunk. We'd reached that pit of despair, otherwise known as tequila. I've never been quite this drunk. So I started telling Danny stories, because that's what I like to do when I'm drunk. Danny didn't believe me, because that's what he likes to do when he's drunk. But they were true stories. I swear on my life, it's absolutely true. I'd been told that the assistant manager of East Fife Football Club was also called Dave Gorman, which I didn't know about, and I've been to Scotland several times since, and I've now discovered that no one knows. However, I told Danny that fact, and he didn't believe me. And I said, it's true. And he said, it's nonsense. You're going on with yourself. I said, it's true. And I told him more stories. Once upon a time in a pub in Manchester, taxi driver comes in, shouts taxi for Dave Gorman. Me and another bloke both stand up. We stare each other out for about 20 seconds. I make him show me some ID, so I check he isn't just a blagger stealing my taxi. He was a Dave Gorman, but then he had to go, because apparently that was his taxi. And I was telling Danny this. He says, no, nonsense, you're making it up, bollocks, you're carrying on with yourself, all nonsense. It's not that far-fetched. There must be hundreds of other people in the world also called Dave Gorman. He's going, nonsense. I said, right, we'll prove it. And so that night, we stayed out all night drinking. And at 6:30 in the morning, we found ourselves at King's Cross train station, where I bought for myself and for Danny tickets from London to Glenrothes in East Fife. Now, I'm aware that not everyone who's going to watch this is going to know where that is. So here's a map of the journey we made. We started down here in London, obviously. This is not a 20-minute journey, this is a long journey. This is 4 hours in a train, all the way up here into Edinburgh. We changed trains in Edinburgh, and then we went into Glenrothes. In Glenrothes, we got in a taxi. I said, East Fife Football Club, please. He said, certainly, sir. 20 minutes later, he had to stop twice to ask for directions. You've got to panic about a football club when that's happening.
Yeah.
We get to the game, the only two Englishmen ever, surely, to travel from London at 7 in the morning in order to watch East Fife play football. That's never happened before, that's never happening again. Brilliant. We're freezing cold, we're hungover, we're wearing yesterday's clothes, we stink, and we're watching East Fife play Brechin City to a dismal 1-1 draw. At the end of which, we go and knock on the club door, and I say, hello, I'd like to meet the assistant manager, Dave Gorman, please. And this big Scottish guy goes, F*** off. I go, no, I would, really, I'd like to meet him. He goes, what's your name? I go, Dave Gorman. He goes, right, F*** off. I go, no, look, I've got my ID and everything. Look, that's me, look, that's my face, that's my name, I'm Dave Gorman. He goes, all right, come in, I'll see if he's around. Dave Gorman had already overheard the kerfuffle. He came out to meet us. Absolutely lovely man. He's East Fife through and through. He used to be the goalkeeper. He's now the assistant manager. It was an absolute pleasure to meet him. Most importantly, I got to shake his hand. Here he is, the assistant manager of East Fife, Mr. Dave Gorman.
Hey!
That's what he looks like, but this is what he sounds like.
Hello, my name's Dave Gorman.
There you go. And it was such a nice thing to meet him. It was so good. It was so nice, but I didn't really know what to say. Because I don't really know much about football, and I'm not, you know, drunk and hungover, and I don't know what's going on. So the only thing I could think to say was, have you ever met anyone else called Dave Gorman? Right? This is what happened. This is a comment. We've got it on tape. Have you ever met anyone else called Dave Gorman before?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Right, now you heard the straight question. Have you ever met anyone else called Dave Gorman? No.
So there's no other Dave Gormans in your family or anything?
My father was named David Gorman.
Have you ever met any? No. Any of your family? My father. He forgot his own father. Can you imagine that? It gets worse.
My father was named David Gorman, and my grandfather was named David Gorman. And as far as I know, that's it.
Do you know any? No. Are you related to any? My father and my grandfather. There's two Dave Gormans. There's 2 generations of his own family that he's forgotten. How on earth do you forget that? The fact that you're Dave Gorman the third ought to be a bit of a clue, frankly. But you heard him say, my father, my grandfather, but apart from that, that's it.
My son is named David Gorman. That's what I call a tradition.
Oh, Jesus! I'm already loving this show. Is this what it's going to be? Basically him trying to find as many Dave Gormans as he can. If he is, this is going to be awesome.
It's a sort of a family tradition. It's the only name that family bloody knows. And I'll be expecting to tell me he's married to Dave Gorman next. He's Dave Gorman Central, that man. It's incredible, but the most important thing to take away from that, don't be angry, be happy, because he's just told me his son is called Dave Gorman. So I asked him, can we meet your son? He said, well, you can't meet him right now, he's a policeman, he's on duty, but I can give you his phone number if you like. I said, absolutely. We took his phone number, we got a train back into Edinburgh, we rang young Dave Gorman from the hotel, lovely bloke. I rang him up going, hello, it's a bit odd this, my name's Dave Gorman, I'd like to come and meet you later, if that's okay. We met your father earlier on. He went, yeah, I know. I was going, well, can we? Eventually, he said, all right. We went out the next afternoon to meet him. We got to meet another one. Here's me, shaking his hand. The young man, policeman, Dave Gorman. Oh, look at that. He's slightly more frightened than his father, in spite of his policeman status. That is what he looks like, but this is what he sounds like.
Hello, my name is David Gorman.
Bear in mind, you know the answer to this question. You know his family. All right?
Oh, God.
So, Dave, have you ever met any other Dave Gormans?
No, I've never actually.
I said, what about your father? What about your grandfather? What about your great-grandfather? Come on, man! So, that was it, basically. It was a weekend, drunken weekend, 250 quid spent. I met 2 Dave Gormans. We came home. That should have been your lot. Except that I liked it. It had a certain little quirky pleasure meeting my namesake. I liked it. It's sort of nice. In a warm way. It was just nice to know they existed. So when I got home, I'm looking at the phone book on the side, and it's teasing me. I'm thinking, I've never looked. I'm not in it, but there might be another one. So when Danny went out, I got the phone book down, had a quick look through. I found one. He lives in London. In particular, he lives in southwest London. He lives in Tooting. It's not very far. We went out to meet him. And if you think that Dave Gorman number 2 looked more frightened than Dave Gorman number 1, take a look at this. Absolutely. Lovely fellow, though. That's what he looks like. This is what he sounds like.
Hello. My name is David Gorman.
Hello, my name is David Gorman.
Really, but a lovely, lovely man. And he showed us great hospitality. He made us coffee. He got us biscuits. He showed us all around his house. He's a bookseller for a living. He looks the part. I think you'd agree. He's got loads of books all over the house. He's a massive Beatles fan, although he never saw them live. Although Ringo did wink at him once in Oxford Street. Well, you don't believe me?
No, Ringo winked at me once in Oxford Street.
I think you should learn to trust me. And that really should have been it. We'd met 3 Dave Gormans and I had spent 250 quid on a drunken weekend, that was your lot. Except, on the way up to Scotland, we changed trains in Edinburgh and I bought a Polaroid camera because I thought it was a nice way of taking a permanent record of all the meetings. And so I'd taken these Polaroids of all of them. There they are. And I got them all to sign them and I thought it was a nice way of recording the differences between their faces and their names and the rest of it. And it was lovely. And I like those. I think they're very beautiful objects, these pictures. These are photographs of Dave Gormans taken by a Dave Gorman. I think that makes them a bit special. And I didn't know what to do with them. I thought, you can't take those home and just put them in a drawer, can you? You've got to do something proper and nice with them. You can't just leave them on the side. You can't put them in any other photo album with other people, with other names. That would be wrong. The only right and proper thing to do with those pictures is to buy a special photo album for them. So that's what I did. I went out and got a photo album straight away. This is it. Not sure why I'm showing you that there, because this is it here. And that, I think, is a very beautiful object. Now, that is a Dave Gorman specific photo album. Now, there's 2 things you can do. You can't put other people's pictures in there, can you? That would sully it. That would make it dirty. That would be impure. That would be wrong. The only thing to do with that, you've got 2 choices. You can either leave it as it is, or you can try your hardest to fill it up with other pictures of other people also called Dave Gorman. And I think you know which side of the fence I found.
Yes!
So I wasn't sure, though, how to go about finding more Dave Gormans. And then I remembered I'd discovered an interesting fact. When I'd gone through the phone book to find the guy in Tooting, I discovered an interesting fact about the phone book. There is one. I don't know if you know this. You get your phone book for free. You also get the phone book of a neighbouring area for free if you ask nicely. But you can buy other phone books, OK? If you don't believe me, this is the form in the back of the book. OK, and this is the section you want to be looking at.
Oh, my God. This shows how dated this is. Wow. I mean, talking about using phone books. I mean, the only thing I can ever remember people using phone books for, if you go by, I think, what was it, an old Christmas advert, where was there like a little kid wanted to get a kiss under the mistletoe or something at Christmas, and the little girl can reach him, so she got a phone book to stand on. That's the only thing I can remember it being used for.
Phone books can be ordered individually, as regional sets, or as a complete collection. Paperback phone books, £6.50 each. Hardback phone books, if available, £7.50 each. So, obviously, first thing I did, straight away, I went out and got myself some more phone books. Now,
whoa!
armed with those, I start going through and ringing up all the Dave Gormans I can. Except that the phone book, it doesn't give you the Christian name, it just gives you the first initial. So I have rung up every D. Gorman this country has to offer. I've been through every one of those phone books. I've rung every D. Gorman. I've spoken to every Dominic, every Darren, every Dorothy Gorman that this country has. At one point, I accidentally rang my own father. I got number blind and word blind. I just got through to a D. Gorman. Hello, you're D. Gorman. I'm hoping you might be David. He went, no, I'm Derek. You sound familiar. But I'm going through all these, and it's getting quite complicated. There's no... I couldn't remember if I'd been through the book or not. It's a huge pile to have in your living room. So I decided to streamline the operation. I went through each and every one of those books and tore out every page that had a Gorman on it and created my own Gorman-specific phone book.
Nice!
Which I thought would prove to be the Bible on which this journey was built. So armed with that, and we got really slick at this stage, much slicker than really you'd ever imagine of me, we cross-referenced it with the electoral register. We got all the numbers and all, I was going to say all the names and addresses. We know the names. We got all the addresses of all the Dave Gormans we could in Britain, and we wrote about 100 letters, myself and Dan. We wrote 100 letters to people called Dave Gorman. Each letter exactly the same. Every letter said, Dear Dave, hello, my name's Dave Gorman as well. I'd like to meet you. It's that simple. We'll come to you, your home, your place of work, anything. All you need is 20 minutes. We'll come, shake your hand, take your photograph, leave. Please, 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 give me a ring on this number if you're interested. Imagine
Nice.
You've sent that letter out to 100 people. They're all called Dave Gorman.
It sounds a bit
This is my
creepy.
answering machine. About a week after we sent out that letter, this is what my answering machine sounded like.
I got this letter from you and I thought it was a wind-up initially.
My name's Dave Gorman. I just received a letter from you. I just found out to see if it's a wind-up, mate. I've got your letter. It does sound a bit strange, doesn't it?
And I hope this isn't a wind-up.
I did wonder whether it was a wind-up.
Basically, it was a complete waste of stamps, wasn't it? Not one person believed me. I was furious. So I go back on the phones. I think I can be very persuasive when I want. If someone says to me, you're not Dave Gorman, it's a wind-up, I can tell them that I am Dave Gorman far quicker than I can send another letter. So that's what I try to do. We go on the phones again, and I try to make it really organised. I put all their names down in order. Not sure how you do that, right? But I put them all on a piece of paper anyway, right? And I got a pen and I sat down on a Monday morning. I treated it like a job. I'd go to work, I'd go through, crossing them off. It was a Monday morning. They're all at work. I'd ring 50 in a day. I'd be leaving 50 messages all over Britain with people called Dave Gorman. Every message the same. Hello, Dave Gorman. It's Dave Gorman here. You've probably had a letter from me. It is not a wind-up. I really do want to meet you. Please ring me back on this number and we'll arrange it. But please, bear in mind, I've left this message with 50 people. They're all called Dave Gorman. So when you ring me back, please give me a little bit of information about yourself. Tell me where you're calling from. Give me your number. Imagine you've done that on a Monday morning, then you go out for Monday
Sounds
afternoon,
very slick.
You come back and you find things like this on your answering machine.
Hi, it's David Gorman here, calling from home. If you want to get in touch with me again, I will be available on Monday at about 3:30.
What possible use is that to me? The only bit of information he's given me is his name, and that's the one thing I knew. He told me where he was calling from. He told me he was calling from home. I got loads of it. There's another one. Play the other one.
Hi, it's Dave Gorman. I'm just returning your call. See you later.
I was beginning to suspect that was in the Gorman genes. I was getting quite worried. Eventually, one Dave Gorman rang me. He spoke to me in person. He said, it's fine, I'd love to meet you, not a problem. I was delighted. The only problem with that is I wanted to do it properly. Now, when we went to meet the first three, Danny had his video camera with him, and I liked that. I liked having a permanent record of the event. It felt good. I liked watching them at home when I got there. It was lovely. It also made them take us a bit more seriously. It was like we were on a project. The only problem, they didn't take us too seriously because it isn't a very good camera. This is Dan's camera he got for his birthday. Now, that is a home use model. It's quite nice, it's quite pricey, it does the job. But it's not spectacular, and you're not professionals, you're just two idiots with a camera. I wanted them to treat us like we were professionals and make them think it was a bit of a project. So I went out to Tottenham Court Road, I spent a few quid, I bought Danny some toys for his camera. This is what it looks like now.
Whoa!
I'll tell you what, they take us seriously now, they do. Oh, you would, wouldn't you? It's a beauty, isn't it? You put a furry mic on it, all of a sudden you're a professional. That's how the world works. It's a fantastic thing. It's a beautiful camera. You've got it with you tonight, haven't you, Dan? Look at that. Take a look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. Oh,
hey!
absolutely. So, armed with that, we go off to meet Dave Gorman number 4. And I swear, not a word of a lie, I swear on my life, it's absolutely true, the very next Dave Gorman who agreed to meet us, Dave Gorman number 4, lives in Glenrothes. In particular, he lives 1.5 miles from the front door of the first Dave Gorman.
No way!
So we get back on the same train for another 4-hour journey. All another 170 quid on a train fare to meet him. I was furious. We were prepared this time. 4-hour journey. We knew it was coming this time. We'd done it a week before. So this time we bought a deck of cards. We're whiling away the hours. And then a sudden, horrible thought entered my head. I suddenly realised I was sober.
I was going to say it's because the camera
had been done in drunkenness. And now I was sober. I'd crossed a line. I was doing this on purpose. That's quite frightening. I needed to know how was it going to end? What was I doing it for? And I was doing it to prove Danny Wallace wrong, because he said there weren't that many in the world. So I wanted to know how many he thought was loads. So I asked him. And he put the deck of cards in my palm and went, that many. And I cut the deck, and it was a 7. And I thought, piece of piss. And he went, no, no, no. That many.
Well,
and I
52?
went, 52. And he went, and the jokers.
Oh, 54.
So now, we're on our way to find Dave Gorman number 4, and I'm trying to think of a way to find another 50. But most importantly, we've got to find number 4 first, so that's what we did. We got a train up into Edinburgh. This time, we didn't do all the way into Glenrothes, we got a train into Kirkcaldy and we changed there because although he lives in Glenrothes, he works in Ladybank on a golf course. He's the greenkeeper. Here he is, Dave Gorman. What a lovely man. He's got mischief in his eyes, hasn't he? He's got a little cheeky grin. Oh, he's a fantastic little fella. You can hear it in his voice as well. That's what he looks like. This is what he sounds like.
Hello, my name's David Gorman.
Oh, isn't he great, isn't he? Oh.
Nice.
You want to cuddle him, don't you? Oh, he's a lovely young lad. Really is. And obviously, what I say to all of them, I said it to him as well. I asked him if he had heard of any other Dave Gormans.
I've heard of Dave Gorman, his wife keeper, the former goalkeeper.
Oh, for a minute I thought we were onto one, and then it turns out to be the first one we met. He's a former keeper, he's now the assistant manager. And that makes sense to me. He's a young lad, he lives in East Fife, presumably he follows the football. But apparently that is not the reason he knows him.
I've heard of him, but that's because my dad, he's helped my dad out. My dad done a wee bit of football coaching.
It turns out his dad is a man called Jackie Gorman. Jackie Gorman works with Dave Gorman at East Fife Football Club. And I think we can all remember when I asked Dave Gorman at East Fife Football Club if he knew any other Dave Gormans, the answer was no. Now, if I worked anywhere, which I don't, but if I did, and Jackie Gorman came to work with me, I think at some point during the first 10 years, it would occur to me to have a conversation with him about the fact that we shared a surname. I probably would have found out that his son shares my whole name. I would have remembered that fact. So when I came up to ask me that fact, I would have told me that fact, and it wouldn't have cost me another 170 quid. Getting on another train, making the same journey to be 5 miles from where I'd been stood 1 week before. Not a very happy man about that. Not his fault. He's lovely. It's the other one.
Dave Gorman, number 1.
He's absolutely lovely. He's charming. He's a lovely... He's a little boy racer with his car, and he so likes driving, he volunteered to give us a lift. We didn't have to get the train back into Kirkcaldy. He gave us a lift, and I'll tell you what, he was faster than the train.
What a nice bloke. He drives very fast.
And then we got to Edinburgh, and we managed to find yet another one. He works at the Royal Bank of Scotland. He lives in Edinburgh. He's a fantastic fella. Here he is, Dave Gorman.
Hey!
Oh, look at that. Isn't he fantastic? That's what he looks like. This is what he sounds like.
Hello, my name's Dave Gorman.
There you go. And he is one of my favourite of all the Dave Gormans. He really is. This
Why?
man here, he's one of my favourites, not least because in that picture it looks like I'm wearing a glove puppet. Isn't that absolutely lovely? He's a lovely man, and I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it gets better than that, because he's here tonight. We're in the presence of yet another Dave Gorman. Dave Gorman, wherever you are, make yourself known. Where are you? He's on the second row.
Hey!
Come here, Dave. Shake my hand. Look at that camera and say it for them one more time. Go on.
Hello, my name is Dave Gorman.
Oh!
Hey!
That's the result. That's what we want. All the way from Edinburgh to be here. I love him for that. I really do. Are you free for the next 5 weeks, Dave?
Yeah, why not?
You're going to come down? We'll bring you down.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? Fantastic. We've got some odd jobs need doing. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put your name on the credits as an assistant. Just to confuse the hell out of the BBC. At this point, it's worth considering exactly what we've done. And what we've done so far is we've met 5 Dave Gormans. But to meet them, we've had to travel 1,890 miles. And I think you'll appreciate that gives us quite a satisfying statistic.
Oh my god, that is so ridiculous. Is that supposed to be 378 miles per Dave Gorman? Why does that appeal to the inner geek in me? Jesus.
Of 378 miles per Dave Gorman.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite nice. I think that's lovely. I think that's got a certain natural beauty to it. I think anywhere below 300, that means your name's a bit too common. You want to bump into a namesake on every street corner, do you? You want to be confident you're opening your own post. Over 500, that's too far. That's crazy. Who'd do that? Nonsense, clearly. So we're sitting in the zone. We're between 300 and 500. I think that's lovely. However, there is always something to throw you off course. And when we met this fella...
Hello.
Now, he sells books for a living, you know that much. Obviously, one of the things I asked him was, have you ever sold a book written by a Dave Gorman? And he got quite excited for a little minute, he really did.
You've just reminded me. Oh, no. It's Ed Gorman.
Ooh.
Oh!
So close! I told him, I said, concentrate, come on! About a week after I met him, I can't guarantee this was actually sent by him, because there was no letter attached, just a little parcel arrived at my house. It contained this book. This book, as you can see it there, is written by a David Gorman. It's a proper book with words in and everything. It's really good. I recommend it. It's got quite a spooky title, given the nature of my journey. It's called Looking at Ourselves. Now, that book has got some interesting information in it. For a start, there's a little message from him to you, the reader, right at the front of the book. This is what it says. You'll recognise me in the south of France as the one with the Canadian accent and a computer under his arm. David Gorman wrote that in 1997. And I think that's fascinating. He lives in the south of France.
Oh my God, does he travel to France?
Or at least he does the accent. That's absolutely no reason not to meet him, is it? So straight away we went out, we booked a flight, we jumped on a plane, we went to France. If you don't believe me, that's my boarding card.
Whoa!
We arrived in Marseille on a very nice sunny afternoon. All we had was the name of the village he lives in, a little village called St. Alexandre. This is the journey we made. All the way into Marseille we landed. We didn't know where St. Alexandre was. All we knew was it was a tiny village. He was a Canadian and he lived there. I thought, we'll find him, easy. So we get to Marseille, we hire a car, we buy a road atlas, we jump in the car, we drive 150 kilometres into the south of France. Absolutely beautiful village, absolutely stunning. You could throw a stone over the whole thing, it's that small. We're walking around the village. I don't speak French. I'm armed with this book. I'm just walking up to people going, Où est David Gorman? Où est l'homme ici? Où est Monsieur Gorman? Most people give me a bit of a wide berth.
Yeah, I would.
We managed to corner a couple of mechanics, and they're both fantastic men.
David Gorman. David Gorman.
Now, I don't speak French. I've no idea what he was saying there. But his friend came out to help, and I'll tell you what, this man is possibly the most French man you've ever seen in your life. Look at this. That's elementary, isn't it? We all learned that at school. The longer the ash on the end of your gall, the more French you are. And I think a closer examination... Oh, he's French, all right. Now, the first one, the guy in the blue shirt, I don't speak French. He sort of went, come with me. Also, I don't actually know what he said, but he didn't mind when I followed him. He took me around into the little village centre, the little sort of town hall in a village style. And in there, about 8 people. None of them speaking English, me not speaking French. They worked out exactly what I was after. They knew who I was talking about. They recognised his picture. And they got this map out. They photocopied it. This is the map they gave me. There you go. And they drew directions to his house. This is the village here. This is where we were. But he doesn't live in the village. He lives out in the sticks. So they drew all these arrows, taking us out on this route here, up round this little hairpin here, up these little lanes, all this way up here. X marks the spot. That's about where he lives there. We followed that journey. It took us about 50 minutes to walk there. Very exciting when we got there. His name was on the mailbox. I knock on the door. I ring his bell. He's not in.
Hey!
So I think he can't be far. There's cars in the drive. Nowhere to go. We'll hang around for a bit. 20 minutes later, he's not come back. I'm getting a bit panicky. I'm in the south of France. I'm with my flatmate. What the hell am I doing? I'm getting a bit panicky. 20 minutes later, I'm getting very, very nervous indeed. I go and speak to his next-door neighbours. One of them doesn't know where he is. The other one doesn't know who he is. I'm getting even more worried now. After about an hour outside his house, I go back into the village again with this book, and a bit more urgent this time, going, Où est? Où est? Où est David Gorman? What spoke I found someone who knew where he was. I discovered a very, very alarming fact. He's in London. He was in bastard Greenwich! He was 5 miles from my own front door, when I was 1 yard from his! So we get back in the car, we drive all the way back down to Marseille, we jump in a plane, we fly all the way back into Gatwick, and from Gatwick we get a taxi to his mate's house in Greenwich. We finally got to meet him. It was a pleasure. I didn't think we were going to get this one. We did get him. Here he is. Lovely man, Dave Gorman. That's what he looks like.
Hey!
That's what he sounds like.
Hello. My name is David Gorman.
There you go. He's not as camp as he looks. Now, it was a pleasure to meet him. It really was. But I think you can appreciate it's been quite damaging statistically. We've gone all the way to France and all the way back again to meet a man that could have been a 10-mile round trip. That's very, very damaging. What we've done on that particular journey, we've met one Dave Gorman. And we've travelled 1,474 miles to meet him. And I can see what you're thinking. It's written on all of your faces. I can see it in your eyes. Every single day now, you're looking at me thinking, yeah, it's all right, Dave. What's that done to the graph?
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, we've taken a terribly steep turn there, haven't we? We've only met one extra Dave Gorman, yeah? But we've travelled all those extra miles. Well, that's just crazy, isn't it? It's gone wrong at that point. Basically, that's what's happened. And now you're trying to do the maths in your head, I can see.
Yeah.
Your eyes are flickering.
What's the miles per Dave Gorman?
500 miles per Dave Gorman. Don't worry. You don't need to do any thinking. I'm here to do that for you. You rest your pretty little heads. That's the zone. Okay.
Right.
That's what we're aiming at. That's a kind of golden cone there. Between the bottom line, that's a kind of... That represents 300 miles per Dave Gorman there. That top line there, that represents 500 miles per Dave Gorman.
Okay.
Anywhere within that kind of golden cone, we're on target, okay?
Yeah, it's going to be way off, isn't it?
Gormanness. That's what we're aiming at. Let's see, if I put that graph onto that zone, let's see how we figure.
Oh!
I know. I share your disappointment, I really do. Really, no, I know exactly how I felt the first time I saw it. I feel for you. That's where we are. We've travelled 3,364 miles. We've met 6 Dave Gormans. We are sitting at 561 miles per Dave Gorman. That's not so far out of the zone. That's not so bad. We shouldn't be downhearted. We can rein that in if we work harder. And I'll tell you what, I've been to France and back. I think you'll agree I am committed to this idea.
Yeah!
And I'm delighted because we've added 6 Polaroids to that album. And that delights me. If you see one of these men on your travels, I ask only one thing of you. That you respect him. Don't make a nuisance of yourself. Don't be telling him that he's a Dave Gorman. He knows that already. But do, please, give him a big hello hug from me. Now, I know most of you are thinking, yeah, I'll do that. That's fine, that's a good idea. I also know that you are members of the public and therefore fickle. Which is why I'm asking each and every one of you to take an oath of allegiance, swearing that you will respect the Dave Gormans of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you all, please, to raise your right hands. Follow the words on the screen and say it with me.
Okay.
I
do solemnly swear within my power to respect, honour, and if necessary, obey all Dave Gormans. I promise that whenever I meet a Dave Gorman, I will say hello from you, the Dave Gorman I see before me now. And also from your flatmate Danny. I will do this wherever in the world I so happen to be, even in France. Not those likely to be there, so I wouldn't bother going if I were you. Or at least I'd check before buying tickets for an airplane. Although, obviously, that's worth it, for he's a man that bears that name. Forever and ever. Dave Gorman.
My name's Dave Gorman, the search continues. Thank you very much. Good night.
Wow!
More Dave Gorman's on BBC Two, same time next week.
Oh, wow. Look at that. If you're a Dave Gorman or you know one, go to bbc.co.uk/Dave Gorman. Wow. Okay, you can kind of maybe see from the bottom that this the person who uploaded this has basically uploaded all 6 episodes into one video. I'm not gonna watch all 3 hours basically of the TV show in one sitting. I'm gonna stop it here. Let me give you my thoughts on this. For a show that has such a basic premise, damn, he did a good job with that. That was insanely funny. And, it's the kind of show that you think, is this going to get quite boring and quite stale quite quickly? Being that it's clear that the theme of each episode is basically going to be effectively him telling a story of how he travels to meet, estimates 50, 60 other Dave Gormans. But I think original Dave Gorman, he has a really nice storytelling persona, and he keeps you actively engaged for what is realistically a very boring story. Basically, I wanted to meet my namesake. I set out to meet my namesake, and this is how I met them. That is, as basic as it is, and yet he does something just really great with that. I'm really down for watching more of the other episodes. I would also be interested in seeing this Modern Life is Goodish show that he does. I'll be interested to see how similar or different that one would be. Now, John Lewis, in his original comment, he did say theoretically with Modern Life is Goodish that I could, realistically watch any episode in any order. If you have a particular favourite, if you have any ones that you feel is a great one to start with, if you feel that there's any specific ones you just think is just the best, let me know. Because if I don't have to watch them in order, then yeah, I can just go, that one. I'll go with that one today. But that's going to wrap up my first reaction to Are You Dave Gorman? This is episode number 1. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And remember, if you are new, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you drop your comments down below. But for now, my name's Kevin. I'm a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.